Femi Doyle-Marshall.
Happiness, and I know everything that shine ain't always gonna be gold. Hey, I'll be fine once I get it. I'll be good. I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything that shine ain't always gonna be gold. Hey.
This is The Pursuit of Fitness with Femi Doyle-Marshall.
How can muscular imbalances affect your training?
Muscular imbalances affect your training by creating overuse injuries or leaks in your system. So leaks, if you want to plug that leak so you can be stronger. When you have muscular imbalances, you usually open yourself up to a higher risk of injury because you're not taking care of those imbalances. All right, so instead of having a balanced rotator cuff ratio to your what we call big muscles, your pec, lats, and so on and so forth, a big imbalance in that ratio will eventually precipitate injury. It lessens your performance ability. So we train an athlete or anyone as a matter, which we always focus on at dealing with the imbalances, getting your imbalances up to par, getting a good foundation. So therefore you'll get better results, whether it's fat loss, performance.
Do you find there are any common muscular imbalances out there? Or?
Rotator cuff is huge, teres minor, teres major, subscap. You have a lot of internal rotated clients that, so we work on those. So guys will have a strong pec, but their rotator cuff, they can probably bench 300 pounds on a rotator cuff, on the bench press, and do external rotation with 5 pounds for 10 reps. So that's a major imbalance, and that's only going to end up with what we call rotator cuff issues, tear, inflammation in the rotator cuff. Their chromium clivic, all kinds of things are just out of whack. That's one of the biggest ones. The lower back is huge as well. A lot of clients with their lower back issues, so their erector spinae, multifidi muscles, we try to work on that, glute weakness and things like that. Hamstrings are huge as well, which quad to hamstring ratio is often, we usually pick up the medial hamstring is very weak in most individuals, so we usually tap into those. So some of the biggest ones: VMO, medial hamstrings, lower back, rotator cuff.
What are some quick tips the listeners out there could use to improve rotator cuff, lower back, hamstring? Just something quick.
Pick up a soup can and do external rotator exercises. I'm not a big fan of band because it changes the strength curve. So I'm not a band guy. I'm only a band guy if obviously you come out of surgery, you need to work with bands. But use a weight, tomato can, whatever you find, and do external rotations, elbow low, elbow high, upper back work. And that's another one I forgot, that trap threes are usually upper back is a lot of people's upper back are very weak. So example, 3 sets of 12 elbow low one day, 3 sets of 12 elbow high another day. Twice a week do your external rotators. Goes far in terms of injury prevention, posture, and performance enhancement.
You said low high. Do you mean in a sense from
so your elbow
90 degrees?
Yeah. So your elbow is lower than 90 degrees.
There we go.
And then your elbow is at 90 to do external rotation.
Okay. Lower back.
Lower back. One of my favorites is bird dogs, opposite arm leg raises, and then I progress you to 45-degree extensions, horizontal back extensions. So that's pretty much the simple progression. So lay on your stomach, do opposite arm and leg raises, pause. Those muscles help when you pause for 2-3 seconds at the top. Your muscles respond a little better in terms of your erector spinae muscles, the deep multifidi muscles. And then you do progress to a bird dog, 45 horizontal. Those are good things to do in the gym, on your once or twice a week at the end of your workout. Or depends if it's an issue, you do it at the beginning.
Hamstring.
Well, hamstrings. Hamstrings is lying leg curls. We use that a lot for hamstring. A lot of people say,
stability ball?
No stability ball. You want to flexion from the knee.
Okay.
All right, you can do a stability ball, but depending on your degree of fitness. I find that some people are very hard to do a flex from the knee, but if you any gym will have usually a hamstring curl, and you would do single leg hamstring curls, toe pointed and inwards, would activate the medial hamstring. That is probably the most picked up, for lower body. VMO and that are the two most frequently weakened muscles. I would say 90% of the time.
Yeah. What is VMO?
Vastus medialis oblique.
Okay. Now, we're going to move forward a little bit more. Talking about biosignature assessments. That was a practice developed by Charles
Poliquin, correct.
Okay, I want you to talk about that with me.
Yeah, I studied under Charles Poliquin. I interned with him for years, and I was a director of strength. I was a director of the strength and condition, director of one of his facilities, and we use a skin fold caliper method, and based on the tricep is your mother site, and based on the ratios we find out what sites are out of place, and we just basically use nutrition and supplements to fix on the site. So for example, if a male's tricep should never be over 5 millimeters. If they are, they're losing testosterone levels, are not adequate. So what we'll do is we'll address that. Number two, your subscapular, if it's over 10 millimeters, means you're not carb tolerant. Okay, so someone who's more than 10 millimeters, we would limit their carbs for a period of time and slowly put that back into their diet.
Yeah.
So things like that. It's pretty complex, but I've been doing it for a while, so
you know it.
Yeah, I know it. And sometimes I'm talking a different language to somebody when I talk about this stuff. But once you understand, it's very good. It's your blueprint. And now a lot of times I use this. I pick up methods and I send people to hormonal therapists or doc beyond my scope, because you understand, I do not. If I pick up issues, I refer. Because we work closely with Dr. Wee and other doctors that are specialists, and we will, if someone has major issues in certain points, I can pick them up. So for instance, if someone is at risk for cardiovascular disease, I can pick that as well, and I refer them out.
These are things you're talking about that I don't think many people have actually heard.
Yeah.
There is a disease specifically for cardiovascular. Just talk about specific diseases.
Well, major is cardiovascular disease in terms of you're at high risk for diabetes. Another one, or you're high risk for heart attack.
Yeah.
So we can pick those things up and say, listen, you're at a higher risk, and that kind of wakes people up. You have a very low thyroid, very high thyroid. We pick that up as well. And we will refer you to a specialist to address those issues. Someone's testosterone levels are really low, male or female, and we pick it up and then we refer out to a specialist in that area as well. But we address those needs, basic needs, here in the gym as well, through, again, training, nutrition, and supplementation. Nutrition.
If someone's thinking of making strength gains, what changes can they make in their nutrition?
Strength. Eat protein.
Protein?
Especially females. One of the biggest things for me is getting females to eat protein. And I try to get the female ladies to eat about 50 grams of protein by lunch, before lunch. I'm not a big proponent of getting people to count calories. I don't believe in counting calories. Don't count calories, just eat protein. Get up in the morning, get some meat and nuts is one of my favorite breakfasts. And especially for people, if you want to lose weight and you want to lose it fast, one of the simplest things to do is get your client to eat meat and nuts in them for breakfast. Okay? Because you're sleeping, you're starving all day, your body needs that protein to build the tissue. Okay, and then there's also tyrosine, acetylcholine, all these other things that your brain needs and that meat will deliver. So meat and nuts for breakfast is one of my staples for all my clients.
Strength gains right there. Fat loss. You touched on fat loss the exact same way. Muscle building.
Meeting, that's it.
Everything overlaps.
Yeah, that's it. Meat nuts for breakfast. Huge. If you want to get strong, and I see the effects in training. If I have a client who eats a lot of, say, steak versus fish, they feel stronger when they eat the steak because of the creatine. Okay, all right. So, and then so my athletes, I try to get them to eat beef, good beef, grass-fed beef, organic, and they feel the difference.
A listener thinking of looking into personal training, but this out there, they're out there, they feel that they can do everything by themselves. What advice would you give them?
What advice? They feel they can do everything by themselves.
That arrogant person that's in the gym that's like, I got it down.
I wrote an article about that.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
I feel they should look to a professional, even if they do not want to go to a professional and get what we'd say introductory sessions, learning sessions. For a period of time, it's a big payoff. At the end of the day, it's an investment, and I have a lot of clients who do that. They'll hire me for a short period of time, and so they can get on the right path, understand the basics in terms of technique, because ultimately you don't want to injure yourself. You want to do things the right way, and more people think they're fitter than they actually are, and that'll get you into trouble.
That's true. Now I want you to talk about your team here at LPS. Who can we find right now? September 2nd, 2010. Who is the LPS team? Who's on it?
LPS team, Mark Bubbs, Tyler Venny, Neil Harris. Those are my three guys. That's part of the LPS team.
Touch on a little bit of their experience, a little bit.
Well, hard workers, good trainers. Mark Bubbs is just graduated his naturopathic course. So, coupled with the training background, he's been with me the longest. Coupled with the training background and biosignature knowledge in terms of certain issues, pathological issues, and so on and so forth. We do food allergy testing, blood work, mineral deficiencies, and so on and so forth. And he's our guy that will send clients, and we'll find your cortisol DHA ratio, for instance. We will Mark is in-house, so in terms of executing training programs, good base knowledge. Neil and Tyler, he's studying for his PhD. He's we call him the research nut. So anything I need to know, I go through Tyler. Great trainer, great guy, strong skills. So we have a very strong team of not your what we call normal, round-of-the-mill trainers.
There we go. What knowledge could one of your clients gain from training with you? Just period. Something basic. How
to do things right. How to stay injury free. Yeah. Just basically how training. People think training is easy. It's not. It's much more in depth than you think. And that's what I've learned.
The athlete sponsorship program. What is it?
Athlete sponsorship program is my passion to training athletes, and you have those kids that are talented but they don't have the money. I'm a big believer in school, so I want kids to keep their grades up, but I also want them to reach their dreams, and I believe I can contribute to the athletic world. So I just basically want to help the kids who need help. They have great talent, but sometimes the strength coaches or trainers, or they just have them doing ridiculous things and destroying their career. So that's pretty much why I'm building this athlete sponsorship program, to get athletes trained right, getting them eating right, so they can succeed.
So where can we find out more information about this?
Contact Jennifer Morris at Laylor.com, or call 416-360-0460, and she will tell you the process.
Perfect. So I am Femi Doyle-Marshall, and I am with
Clarence Laylor,
and this is The Pursuit of Fitness. Thank you all for listening.